Hey, welcome back. Today we're sitting down with one of my all-time favorite coins, and honestly, one of the most beautiful pieces of American silver ever made. This is the 1944 Walking Liberty $half. And if you've never held one of these in your hand, I want you to just imagine it for a second, a big, weighty silver coin, about the size of a modern $half, with this gorgeous aged patina catching the light. It's the kind of coin that makes you stop and actually look at it. Not just glance. Actually look. So let's do that today. Let's really look at this thing together, where it came from, what it means, what's going on in all that detail, and yes, what it might be worth. Whether you just inherited one of these, you picked it up at an estate sale, or you've been collecting silver for years, I think you're going to come away from this with a genuine appreciation for what you've got in front of you. Let's go. Before we even talk about the coin itself, I want to set the scene, because context is everything with coins like this. The year is 1944. World War II is at full roar. American boys are fighting in the Pacific, in Italy, in North Africa. D-Day happens in June of that year, the largest amphibious invasion in human history. Hundreds of thousands of Allied troops storm the beaches of Normandy. The whole world is watching, waiting, holding its breath. Back at home, the United States is running on a kind of organized, patriotic urgency that's hard to imagine today. Women are working in factories. Families are buying war bonds. People are rationing butter, gasoline, nylon stockings. Everything is pointed toward one goal, winning the war. And in the middle of all this, the U.S. Mint is still doing what it does. It's still striking coins. Life is still going on. Groceries are still being bought. Wages are still being paid. And the coin that's passing through millions of American hands every single day is this one right here, the Walking Liberty $half. Think about that for a second. This coin you're looking at may have been carried by a factory worker in Detroit. A shop owner in Chicago. A mother buying groceries in Ohio. It might have sat in a soldier's pocket before he shipped out overseas. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of everyday American life during the most dramatic chapter of the 20th century. That context never leaves me when I hold one of these. And I hope it doesn't leave you either. Now let's talk about where this design actually came from, because that story is fascinating. Go back to 1916. That's 28 years before this coin was minted. The United States Mint decided it was time for a serious makeover. The coins in circulation at the time, particularly the Barber $half, were frankly boring. They were functional, sure, but they had no soul. No artistry. They looked like coins that had been designed by a committee of accountants, which, more or less, they had been. President Theodore Roosevelt had actually been pushing for years to beautify American coinage. He believed that a nation's coin said something about its character, its ambition, its culture. He wanted American coins to rival the beauty of ancient Greek coins, which, if you've ever seen a Greek drachma from 400 BC, you know the bar was pretty high. So in 1916, the Commission of Fine Arts opened up a competition. They brought in outside sculptors, real artists, and said, design us something worthy of this country. One of those artists was a German-born American sculptor named Adolph Alexander Weinman. And Weinman didn't just submit one winning design, he submitted two. He won the commission for both the dime and the $half. That had never been done before. Not by one person. Not in American coinage history. The man was on a different level. Weinman had trained under some of the greatest sculptors of his era. He studied under Augustus St. Gaudens, the same man who designed the legendary St. Gaudens double eagle gold coin, widely considered the most beautiful American coin ever made. Weinman also studied under Daniel Chester French, the sculptor who created the seated Lincoln statue inside the Lincoln Memorial. So this guy wasn't just talented, he came from a lineage of absolute masters. And when Weinman sat down to design this $half, he didn't think small. He didn't do a safe portrait of Liberty facing left with a crown on her head. He did something radical. He put her in motion. Let's walk through what you're actually seeing on this coin. The obverse, that's the front, the side with the date 1944, is where Weinman absolutely poured his soul. And I want to take you through it slowly, because there is more going on in this design than most people ever notice. First, the figure herself. Lady Liberty is not standing still. She is walking. She's striding forward, full of purpose, full of energy, moving toward the left side of the coin, toward the rising sun. Her right arm is extended outward, almost like she's reaching toward the dawn, toward tomorrow. It's a gesture that communicates hope, forward momentum, optimism. This nation is going somewhere. It's moving. Now look at what she's wearing. Her gown flows behind her, and draped over her shoulders is the American flag, stars and stripes together, the flag literally wrapping around the figure of Liberty herself. It's a breathtaking design choice. She is America. She is wrapped in its identity. In her left arm, she carries branches. 2 of them. The laurel branch and the oak branch. These weren't chosen randomly. Laurel has been a symbol of civil glory, achievement, intellectual honor, since ancient Greece and Rome. Oak is the symbol of military strength, endurance, the kind of power that bends but doesn't break. Together, they represent the full strength of the American ideal, civil achievement and military courage, side by side. At the bottom left of the design, the sun is rising. You can see its rays shooting upward, lines of light emerging from behind Liberty's feet. She's literally walking out of the sunrise. She's walking toward the future. And the mountain peak in the background reinforces that, this is rugged, wild, American terrain. And then the inscriptions. Along the left edge, you can read Liberty, spread across the coin's rim in elegant letters. In the lower right, you've got, In God We Trust. And at the very bottom, centered below Liberty's feet, 1944. No mint mark visible on the obverse of this coin means it was struck in Philadelphia, the mother mint. Philadelphia coins from this era don't carry a mint mark. Denver coins carry a D, San Francisco coins carry an S. This one, based on the image, appears to be a Philadelphia issue. The whole obverse is a masterwork. Weinman was a sculptor first, and it shows. This doesn't look like an engraving. It looks like a relief sculpture. It has depth, it has shadow, it has movement. Art historian Cornelius Vermeule once called it one of the greatest coins of the United States, if not of the world. That's not hyperbole. That's just an honest assessment. Now let's talk about something specific to this coin, what we're actually looking at here, visually, in this image. This coin is in exceptional condition. And I mean that genuinely, not just as a compliment, but as a numismatic observation. Look at the surface. You can see beautiful toning, that iridescent shimmer of gold, rose, and blue at the edges and across parts of the field. That's natural silver toning, and collectors go absolutely crazy for it. When silver ages in the right environment, away from harsh chemicals, tucked in an old collection, resting undisturbed for decades, it develops this rainbow patina that is, honestly, more beautiful than the raw silver shine of a freshly struck coin. The luster is still there too. You can see cartwheel luster in the fields, that soft, flowing reflection of light that tells you this coin was never cleaned, never harshly polished, never scrubbed with a cloth or a Q-tip by someone who thought they were doing it a favor. Cleaning is the single biggest killer of coin value. A cleaned coin can lose 50%, 60%, 70% of its worth instantly. This coin? This coin has not been touched. It is as nature made it. The toning is original. The luster is original. The detail, look at the high points of Liberty's design, her head, her outstretched hand, the folds in her gown, all of it is crisp and present. If this were submitted to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, I would not be surprised to see this coin graded somewhere in the MS-64 to MS-66 range. Maybe higher. And at those grades, we're talking serious collector value, which we'll get into in a moment. Let's take a brief pause here to appreciate something fundamental about what this coin is made of. This is a 90% silver coin. 10% copper for durability. The silver content is 0.3617 troy ounces of pure silver per coin. That's significant. That's not a trace amount. That's real, meaningful silver. When this coin was made in 1944, it circulated as genuine money, a 50-cent piece, real currency. But because it contained actual silver, it was always worth something beyond its face value. By 1965, when the United States switched to clad coinage, the copper-nickel sandwich coins we use today, the silver walking Liberty halves were quietly disappearing from circulation. People were pulling them out of change and saving them. Melting them, in some cases. Because the silver value alone was worth more than 50 cents. Today, the melt value of this coin, just the raw silver content based on current silver prices, is roughly in the range of $12 to $15 on any given day, fluctuating with the silver spot price. But of course, a coin in this condition is worth far, far more than its melt value. You'd never melt a coin like this. That would be like using a Picasso as a drop cloth. Let's get into the production numbers for 1944, because they tell an interesting story. In 1944, all 3 U.S. mint facilities were striking walking Liberty half dollars. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Combined, they struck over 45 million of these coins across all 3 mints. That is an enormous number. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck about 28 million half dollars in 1944. Denver produced around 9.7 million. San Francisco came in at roughly 8.9 million. What does all that production tell us? It tells us that the American economy was booming. With World War II driving manufacturing output to extraordinary levels, factories running 24 hours a day, wages rising, spending increasing, there was genuine demand for circulating coinage. The mint responded. The high mintage also means that 1944 walking Liberty half dollars are not rare coins. They're common as dates go. For a collector building a complete set, 1944 is not a coin that will keep you up at night trying to find. It's available. It's accessible. And in circulated grades, it's genuinely affordable. But here's where it gets interesting. Common date does not mean low value, not when condition is exceptional. The difference between a well-worn 1944 half and a pristine, original tone gem uncirculated example is not just a matter of degree. It's a completely different coin in the eyes of a serious collector. Alright, let's talk money. Because I know that's on your mind, and it should be. In heavily circulated condition, worn flat, details mushy, luster gone, a 1944 walking Liberty half dollar trades primarily on silver content. Maybe $12 to $20 depending on the day's silver price. In average circulated condition, details still visible, moderate wear on the high points, you're looking at somewhere in the $25 to $40 range. In nicer circulated grades, what collectors call EF or AU, which means, extremely fine or, about uncirculated, where most of the detail is sharp and only the very highest points show light wear, you're in the $40 to $80 territory. Now, once you get into genuine uncirculated, mint state condition, that's where the numbers start climbing. An MS-63 coin might bring $70 to $100. MS-64, $100 to $200. MS-65 gem quality, $200 to $400. And as you push into MS-66 and MS-67 territory, especially with exceptional original toning like the coin we're looking at today, the values can jump dramatically. An MS-67 Philadelphia example has sold at auction for over $5,000. A truly exceptional MS-68 grade coin. Over $100,000 has been realized at auction. Now, most coins won't reach those heights. But the point is, condition drives everything with these coins. A 1944 half that sat in a drawer untouched since 1950 is a fundamentally different thing than one that spent decades in pocket circulation. And original toning? That's a bonus on top of everything else. Collectors pay a premium for beautiful, natural rainbow toning. It's evidence of authenticity. It's evidence of undisturbed preservation. It's proof that nobody messed with the coin trying to improve it. Here's something that I think is one of the most remarkable footnotes in American numismatics. And I say footnotes loosely, because it's actually pretty enormous. In 1986, the United States Mint launched the American Silver Eagle program, America's official silver bullion coin, 1 troy ounce of .999 fine silver, produced every year. It's now one of the best-selling silver coins in the world. Tens of millions of them are sold every year. And the design on the obverse of the American Silver Eagle? It's Weinman's Walking Liberty. The exact same design. They went back to Weinman's 1916 masterpiece, and they put it on the country's flagship silver bullion coin. That's how highly regarded this design is. 60 years after Weinman created it, and nearly 4 decades after the original Walking Liberty half-dollars stopped being minted, the design was considered too good to leave in the history books. It deserved to live on. So when you look at this 1944 half-dollar, you're not just looking at an old coin. You're looking at the ancestor of one of the most successful silver coin programs in modern history. The same Liberty who walked across American currency in 1944 still walks today, on millions of silver coins bought and sold every year, all over the world. The 1944 Walking Liberty half-dollar is, in my opinion, one of those coins that transcends the category of old coin. It's more than that. It's an artifact. It's a piece of wartime American history. It's a sculpture, an actual work of fine art, that just happens to be the size of your palm and made of silver. It was designed by a master sculptor who studied under the greatest artists of his era. It was minted during the most consequential year of the 20th century. It passed through the hands of real American people living real American lives during a time of extraordinary sacrifice and determination. And then, against all odds, it survived, in beautiful, original, untouched condition, to be sitting here for us to look at and admire today. I don't know where you found your coin, or how it came to you. But whatever the story is, I hope today you feel a little more connected to it. Because that's what collecting is really about, at the end of the day. Not just the silver value or the grade number. But that feeling of holding something with actual history in it. This coin has been around longer than most of us have been alive. It saw the world before television was common, before the internet existed, before jet travel was normal. It sat quietly through the rest of World War II, through Korea, through the Cold War, through everything. And here it is. Take care of it. Store it properly. Keep it away from moisture and chemicals. Don't clean it, please, don't ever clean it. And if you're thinking of selling, get it properly graded by a reputable third-party service first. That original toning and that luster are worth protecting. Thanks for spending this time with me and this coin today. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments. And if you want to see more deep dives like this, on other beautiful American silver, key dates, toned coins, whatever you want, let me know. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and take care of your coins.